All right, guys. So we have a lot to get to. Clone Wars is an obvious one. They are releasing another 12 episodes for the Clone Wars cartoon.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. We discussed this a little bit during the episode with Foden Bede.
With the Foden Bede, yeah.
Those guys are smart. I can't keep up with their memory.
I wouldn't say they're smart. They just watched Clone Wars like 1 or 2 more times than we did.
Oh my God. That means 3 times. Because I've only watched it once and I can't get back into it. I do need to watch a get a good viewing guide.
Yeah.
So I can skip all the WB Frog commanding R2 and I can't fucking handle. There's 3-4 episodes of that.
Yeah, the Jar Jar missions. Yeah. So Weiss or anybody else that's listening, if you have I know there's a ton of viewing guides out there. If you have a specific one that you've used and you enjoy, send it over to us so we can dive back into that because with the
because of
whoa. My mic just went crazy. Because with all this prequel info that we're getting, man, I'm about to go balls deep again. Dude,
and you don't realize like the 2 or 3 Clone Wars episodes that I like was only half paying attention. Those are the ones that mean everything.
Of course, yeah.
There was one. Yes, I'm boss ass thinking. There was one discussing Sifo Dyas. And I started looking at the description of the episode. I was like, I don't remember any of that. It was called the Lost One.
Damn.
Was the episode, I believe. I'm going to have to rewatch that one because I don't remember any of that. That must have been lost in the background watchage.
Yeah, and I remember I was really interested in that because Sifo Dyas has been obviously a random huge mystery.
Yeah, after episode 2, we hear about him, and then that was it. So, I guess the Lost One. I don't know what season.
I've heard people complain about like they make that as a plot hole in episode 2, but I kind of like it, man. There's one little nugget because the fact from the Jedi's point of view that no one knows what's happening. It's not like they're going to unleash this entire backstory of how the clones got created just to explain it to the audience. You're seeing things from the Jedi Order and Obi-Wan's point of view. And he's like, Sifo Dyas, that motherfucker died 10 years ago. What's happening here? Like, I love that they drop that kind of shit. And then, 10 years later in a Clone Wars episode, they explain it.
I think it's perfect.
I love that kind of shit. Yeah, I do remember that episode now that you bring it up. It's mainly like recordings of him or something. Yeah, dude. There's a lot to cover, man. There's a lot to read, a lot to watch. There's not enough hours in the day, man.
There's plenty of hours in the week, though. Yeah, I'm excited. What are your expectations for this new season?
I don't want to say that I have any. I'm just excited that it's back for another 12 episodes. My favorite thing so far is that I've never loved Anakin's appearance in the cartoon. I don't hate it, but I didn't love it. But it's kind of like
Tad clean.
And it's like a transition hairstyle or whatever from episode 2 to 3, which I get. I'm very excited that they look just like they do in episode 3.
Which would suggest.
Yes, which is going to lead up to it or overlap it a little bit. If I had one hope and dream and like fanboy fan service hard on for this new season would be to lead right into episode 3, similar to the Tartakovsky thing where Grievous invades Coruscant, captures Palpatine and escapes, blah, blah, blah. That starts that entire battle that we see happening in episode 3. I don't expect them to necessarily copy that note for note, but something similar that like takes us, if you watch the end of it and then start episode 3, just like Rogue One going into A New Hope, that would be fucking perfect.
Agreed. Well, obviously we get to see more Ahsoka, so I'm happy. So
True.
It doesn't fucking matter what the hell
I'm very
happens.
curious about what's going to happen there.
And it's interesting. So this is my thought that they might be trying to recanonize how rebellions actually started, because before this it was Starkiller from my terrible memory. But that book that I read or audiobook that I listened to, Starkiller was the one that like sparked the rebellion and people started like teaming up and conspiring against the Empire.
Yeah.
Now that that's non-canon, I'm hoping that she would be, because that makes complete sense.
Well, we've seen from Solo and the cartoons that it starts a lot later than I ever expected. Like when you see that deleted scene with Mon Mothma and Padme and Bail Organa meeting on Coruscant, there's rumblings of something. Like as soon as they realize something's out of order with Palpatine, there's rumblings of the beginning of a rebellion. But
Out of order.
Yeah.
They're Order 66, not
Order
out of
66. Order 69. Order 73.
Kerner could only wish.
But it doesn't really kick in. And we've seen in Solo now, like there's little factions here and there that are teaming up for a greater cause. And events like what happened in Solo, it's like a jumpstart. Like here's limitless funding to help this thing. And then you see by the time we get to Rogue One, that's what really surprised me about Rogue One is like they don't even want to make an attack because they're still so small and like a fledgling fleet that they don't feel like they can even take on the Empire. Like that's when things really kick off, is like right before Episode 4. I just assumed this war had been raging on like through the entire time period.
Well, they backpedaled a lot in that because the first movie was called Star Wars. Everyone would assume that you're
going on for a while.
About rebellion against the Empire. Like it's a thing. It's obviously a known thing too.
I hate that line so much. Oh my god. Yeah, no, but you would think it'd been going on for like 20 years.
But how would he even know about it? Luke should not on a desert planet. Well, Tatooine, obviously, but
I feel like in Rebels, it's starting to really, really, really gain traction. And you hear about shit like Saw Gerrera's out there fucking murdering people.
Yeah. Yeah. The Empire doesn't exist out here. I mean, just if you want to get away from the Empire, just go to fucking Tatooine.
True.
And live it up.
The Republic doesn't exist out here.
The Empire doesn't either.
True.
Outer Rim. So what's going on? I do want to give a big shout out because we have 3 new patrons that I don't think we ever yelled about.
Yeah, since we last recorded, yeah.
So we've got Star Wars Lore Master who's with us live. Mr. Tommy Lore Master is what I'm going to fucking call him.
Tommy Applesauce, Shinobi Master Lore.
Shinobi applesauce. I hate saying so I'm gonna say this next guy's name.
You keep doing it anyways.
Mr. Sean Richards was one that I think we missed last episode or 2 episodes ago, so I want to give a shout out to Mr. Sean Richards.
I think you signed up like right after our last episode.
Yeah. And then most recently, Mr. Adam Davis, Mr. Tugboat.
He's been with us for a while. It was like maybe episode 90 or something. He sent us some things from Alaska, some shot glasses and a bottle opener and some stickers.
And even before that, he sent an email. He was like, also, fuck Padme and all this shit, and KOTOR's awesome. And
yeah. He's been hanging around for a while, so.
We're just going to start making shirts out of the drunken emails that we get. I remember a handful of sneakers sent us the most drunken, raging email. We got to dig that one up.
That was funny as fuck. Yeah. I mean, I did put our worst podcast review on a t-shirt. So putting our patrons' drunken emails on a t-shirt would be great as well.
Yep. I remember a handful of sneakers ended. He was just like, well, after all that, I'm hammered. I'm going to go get a pizza now. And that's how his email ended. That's fucking perfect.
It's amazing.
I'm going to go get a pizza. Pretty hungry. This email
sounds like what I'm about to do tonight too.
Took it all out of me. Yeah. I'm so getting back to the Clone Wars. Season 6 ended with a lot of Yoda stuff. And him kind of confronted by like a ghost of Bane. And
I'm kind of fuzzy.
Some real like large scale stuff.
Yeah.
Because he like in a Sith ritual that he had to either save Anakin or defeat Sidious. There was a lot of like high level stuff. So I'm hoping they start this off really grounded. The teaser trailer that we got was clones, and that's what we know, and that's what it should be.
Yeah.
The fucking Clone Wars.
Yeah.
This high level Jedi stuff I love, but that shouldn't be the key to it. I hope we get to see a lot of reasoning why the clones turned on the Jedi so quickly during Order 66.
I was just going to say more tension building up to Order 66 would be great.
People starting to actually distrust the Jedi for whatever reason. It doesn't even have to, like, the seeds were planted by Sidious, but they have to be watered, for a lack of better shits, by like conspiracy theorists or something that happens. Like, you already have this, the seeds planted, but if a Jedi does something half questionable now you get called out on it, and everybody sees you getting called. Like, it's something like that.
Yeah.
And in the heat of war,
propaganda.
Oh yeah, propaganda, I believe is how no one pronounces it. So the what?
Sorry, you just left me fucking pronunciation.
Sorry.
Well, that ain't gonna happen.
During I think that's it for the Clone Wars. I'm super excited. The trailer was badass. Perfect. Obviously, the Ahsoka thing at the end was kind of like the Darth Maul thing in Solo. You're like, what? I didn't think she was gonna be back. Yeah. Holy shit!
It had me hyped because I think the first person that shared it in the Patreon chat didn't say what it was. They just shared a YouTube link, and there was no preview. So I clicked on it, and it started, and then it like shot down with that shot of those helmets. And I didn't know at first what was happening, and I was just fucking so geeked watching that, and that slow pan backwards through all the helmets, starting with the phase 1 and going back, seeing phase 2, seeing Rex and Cody and everything, and the voiceovers of all the clones. Oh, dude. It was great. It was fucking geeked.
It's ridiculous. And I told you that I didn't even know the Comic-Con shit was going on. When I saw that, I thought it was a fan-made like teaser thing that was just like blowing up. I was like, okay, what fan made this little trailer? It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then when Star Wars was like sharing it, I was like, oh wait, I'm just a piece of shit and don't know anything.
It was fucking awesome, dude.
It was. It was cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. That's all. Do we have a release date for that?
Good question. I think it's going to be all coinciding with the Disney streaming service.
Oh, that sucks.
No, it doesn't.
I hate it.
Why do you?